involved militarily overseas in wars. There's actually, you can go back and find the. He also spoke more, I don't want to say eloquently, but he didn't sound effing retarded when he was campaigning. And this whole time that I saw his mental state deteriorate or appear to deteriorate, I'm going, why aren't people seeing the powers behind the throne? I mean, all this, anybody but Bush, anybody but by that time, I mean, I thought John Kerry was ready to take the New World Order baton and run with it in 2004. But I guess they had to squeeze another 4 years out of Bush. So now everybody can say Bush did all this stuff in the last 8 years and totally ignore all the stuff Obama's doing. Ignore what happened on Christmas Day. When your government likely let a guy get on a plane without a passport who may have been under mind control, who lit his crotch on fire. You haven't even seen the explosives. You haven't even seen the security tape of him getting on the plane. You know why that is? Because a sharp-dressed Indian man helped them get on that plane. So what are they saying now? The Obama administration, of course, the world government all over the world, body scanners and brain scanners. Brain scanners already, they've been talking about that for years. Now they're talking about putting that in right now in Israel. You got to get your brain scanned in the very near future to step foot into Israel. Yeah, that's some promised land. And we're not able to see this stuff. We're supposed to find the positive in all of this. Here's the positive in all of this. People coming together. People loving one another. People working on their relationships. People taking a closer look at their life, their own spiritual evolution. Not worrying about this, that, and the other thing in the political world. Now, it's good to get involved with third-party stuff, but it comes down to it, we are not a peaceful population internally. We are not a loving population. And I'm terrified for a lot of your future. A lot of you women out there, a lot of you men that might not have the power to protect your loved ones from external attack, whether it's something that's coming in the neighborhood, the city, or things I'm not even going to get into tonight, because most of you don't even have the open mind to take a real look at reality, at what takes place in a country where everything has been taken. The light bulbs, the ice cubes in the trays, everything. Your personal safety. Unless you're in charge of your own safety and you're able to protect yourself or protect your loved ones, it's going to be a very bumpy ride. You're not going to be able to call 911. I'm not saying the end of the world's coming, but they have orchestrated the greatest depression. To compare it to the Great Depression doesn't serve what we're facing justice. We were up to our heads in credit card debt at that time. Some of us still knew how to milk a cow. Do you? Do I? I'm looking at my life. How do I get prepared to work with my hands? And I'll tell you what, that future for me, I don't see in Portland. That's why I will not give up my dream of finding a listener, a viewer somewhere out there that's got land in Central Oregon. That's why I put it out there. Because I know where my heart calls me, and it's to that mountain. It ain't here. It ain't here. And I have a very bad feeling, especially in the dark of night when I look west. And all I'm here is to provide you information. I'm not here to be your best friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your father, your mother, any of that crap. Doing what I do puts me at the front line towards discrimination. Whether it be if I'm working somewhere or if I'm dating someone, I might meet someone, give them the website, last time you ever heard from them type deal. Situations like that, constantly, discrimination, stereotyping. I tried to give someone a DVD, this young girl, something that was in the lobby, Follow the Republic. She freaked out when she looked at it. Don't give me any of that information! Just flipped out. I wasn't even like talking excitedly. I was like, this is an interesting documentary. It actually just came out and giving out copies. Check it out. I'm surprised she didn't throw it at me. And so you find that cold response to trying to present someone with an alternative perspective on what's going on. I'm spending way too much time talking about this stuff. We have a couple other headlines that we're going to get to, but let's go ahead and get to the phone calls. I want to thank Allison, I want to thank Jack, and I want to thank Jefferson for crewing tonight. Bill is sick. Pray for Bill and his future. I'm not even going to ask you to pray for me. If you cared about me, you already are. But pray for Emily. This was a place she worked at for 10 years, and she was one of the most skilled employees at Access TV, most knowledgeable, creative, loving individuals that ever worked at PCM TV. I don't care who's watching this. I want you to listen to me. A place that gets rid of people like Emily will not survive because it is morally wrong to get rid of people like that that have done so much for a place like this. But it was overlooked. Far overlooked. All right, let's go to that phone call. Go ahead, Jack, and go ahead and let him through.
Well, hi, I'm on TV.
Not really. I'm on TV, but you're on the line. Hi.
Okay. Do you know anything about the Bhagwan?
Rajneesh.
Yeah.
I used to have a roommate.
Way up there.
I used to have a roommate that was very obsessed with the Rajneesh. It was weird. It was like every day there was a new quote written on the chalkboard. I would show him headlines about the things going on, and he would say things like, not Obama's a messiah, but Obama's enlightened. He's got that glow, kind of like, you know, what I saw from Rajneesh.
Okay, give me just a minute.
And so
here.
I'm going...
Give me a minute here. Okay. Why did he drive that different car every day?
The Rolls Royce?
Yeah. Or whatever he had.
I do want to say, though, this,
Just
because I'm not trying to bash the guy. I did hear there may have been some other infiltrations that, in terms of the poisoning, when he came here and he grabbed all the...
Sheila's a bitch. That's why I took that vow of silence in the first place. Okay, got to get off the phone. See you later.
Excuse me? Were you going to make a point, or you just want to waste airtime? You just want to waste airtime. Well, you know, Rajneesh, interesting story there, and we really don't have the time for it. Short story, Indian guru came here, and a lot of people gave him a lot of money, and he ran around with a Rolls Royce, all about enlightenment. Yeah, he needed so much material things. People definitely were attracted to the stories of wild sex orgies in the middle of the wild Oregon desert. Very attractive to a lot of people on the streets. He definitely did a lot of recruiting on the streets when he came to Portland. But I am not educated fully on the whole Rajneesh Bhagwan situation. But anyone that obsesses on anyone like my ex-roommate, you know, to the point where they don't appear to be mentally stable, that's a little bit disturbing. I read some of the literature in his books that he would passive-aggressively drop around the house, and I did find some wisdom in there. But you know, I just really am not in a position to comment on Rajneesh. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, there's a friend of yours that's recently gone back on KUFO. Or he's a
Clyde
DJ.
Lewis, 10 to 12, KUFO. So while some of us here are worried about losing our studio space, some people at the right moment in time, when it's really hitting the fan, end up back on the radio. Doesn't mean that me and Clyde agree on everything, but the point is, in comparison to everybody else on the radio, and plus he's been on this show plenty of times, we share a lot of viewpoints. 10 to 12 KUFO, 101.1 on the dial.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm not comparing you to Clyde, but you have a similar argumentative style and are trying to put me in a box or a category that I never was in. I asked you a few questions about Haiti.
Oh, and you called back.
I told you
when
a
I
long
call
time viewer,
shows,
and
usually
you're
I
not
just
even
call
listening
once.
to my question. You have no interest in listening to my question. This is the same thing that Clyde's doing. It's an
are you still
overly
on the air,
argumentative
sir?
style.
Are you still on the air?
And then you're saying that I'm argumentative.
Are you still on the air?
Yeah, what do you want to know from me?
Well, you obviously got beef with me.
Yeah,
and that's
I do.
obvious.
I do.
And so I thank you for your call, because this is the second to last live show. I know you think you're so very important that I'm going to give you the rest of the hour to kind of point your finger at me. Why don't you write me an email telling me what you're doing for your community? I'd like to see that from you, sir. Alex_answery@hotmail.com. You can curse at me all you want in the email. I want to hear what you're doing, other than calling into talk shows and telling them that they're argumentative and you don't agree with them. Because I'd really be interested in the literature. Alex_answery@hotmail.com. And if I said that too fast, you know, because I say things in a way that you don't really like, you can go to alexanswery.com, another site I'm sure you think's full of it, and click on Contact. And that's how you can get a hold of me. In terms of some of the friends that I have out there that I haven't had time to see, since I'm not working, I'm going to get more active doing film projects. I'm going to look for another studio.